right, what do we got?
All right, next up, Saturday, 1 o'clock, Giants at Vikings.
Oh, how are we going to do this? 8-5-1 Giants after beating Washington last night. 11-3 Vikings after the greatest comeback in NFL history, beating the Indianapolis Colts on Saturday. Giants, last night, in case you missed it, Commanders had a 4th and 1 at the Giants 37, 11:27 left in the first quarter. Robinson for 5, but the Commanders punted, went for a net 4 yards after the return. Down 3-0 now. The Giants were down 3-0. Washington, 2nd and 18 at its own 10, 13-18 left in the second quarter. Heineke hit by Kayvon Thibodeau, fumble, scoop and score by Thibodeau, 7-3 Giants, biggest play of the game. Giants have a 4th and 9 then at the Washington 35 with 2:23 left in the half. Jones to Richie James for 10, part of an 18-play, 97-yard touchdown drive for the Giants that took 8:35, capped by a Barkley taking the snap and running it in from the 3. 1:43 left in the second quarter, 14-3 New York. Second half, Washington. 6-play, 91-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Heineke to Dotson for 19, 14-9 when a 2-point conversion call was negated on a pick that Chris Collinsworth, former wide receiver, aggressively, violently objected on, violently disagreed with. Team straight field goals, 17-12 Giants, 9:06 left. Heineke to Dotson for 61, but 4 plays later, Heineke sacked by Azeez Ojulari, fumbles. Leonard Williams recovers, another one that the broadcast team didn't get right into commercial. Now Washington down 20-12 after a great Antonio Gibson return. Start at their own 43 with 1:47 left. Heineke to Samuel for 27. Great toe tap to Thomas for 6. To Dotson for 14. First and goal at the 10. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 1:13 left. Snap caroms off Heineke's hands. He catches it, throws it in the end zone. Incomplete pass. Great defensive play by Dodson. Does just enough to break up a sure interception. Then Heineke runs for the pylon. Trips over his own 2 feet in the turf. Down at the 1. 3rd and goal at the 1. Robinson in, but Terry McLaurin flagged for illegal formation. Everybody talking about the fact that there's video showing McLaurin pointing at the ref to make sure he was lined up okay, and the ref sort of giving him the thumbs up back, and then McLaurin getting flagged for it anyway. Yeah. 3rd and goal at the 6, incomplete. Here's the one that I'm more upset about. 4th and goal at the 6, 56 seconds left. Heineke intended for Samuel, broken up by Darnay Holmes, who was completely wrapped around Samuel. No flag ball game. I hate you, NFL. Jones, 21 of 32 for 160, no touchdowns, no picks. He was not sacked. Outgained by Washington, 387 to 288, plus 2 in turnovers were the Giants. Thibodeau, 7 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble return for a touchdown, all in the first half. Giants, over 90% chance to make the playoffs. Washington, less than 40% chance, even though they have a half-game lead in the current playoff picture. And then there's Minnesota on Saturday. Give up a Dallas Flowers 49-yard kickoff return to start the game. Chase McLaughlin, 26-yard field goal, 3-0 Colts. Okay, no biggie. Then 8:20 left, first quarter. Ryan Wright, punt, blocked by Ifeadi Odenigbo. Returned by JoJo Domann to the house, 10-0 Colts. Then 7:33 left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at the Indy 35. Dalvin Cook fumbles. Isaiah Rodgers recovers. 7 plays, 66 yards later. 3:29 later. Ryan to Deion Jackson, 17-0 Colts. Vikings have a 4th and 1 at their own 31. 1:16 left in the first quarter. Cook stuffed. 28-yard McLaughlin field goal, 20-0. 4th and 1 at the Minnesota 31. Fake punt. Ryan Wright, incomplete pass intended for Jalen Naylor. Leads to a McLaughlin 49-yard field goal, 23-0. Then 7:03 left in the second quarter. Vikings get an unfavorable stop. Progress whistle on a Michael Pittman Jr. catch and would-be fumble that they had taken back for a touchdown. Bad break. 3rd and 3 at the Minnesota 12. 5:57 left. Subsequent drive. A play after Justin Jefferson had to leave the game temporarily. Cousins pick 6. Julian Blackmon to the house. 30-0. One more McLaughlin field goal from 28. 33-0 Colts at the half. 33-0. Vikings outgained 209 to 82. Vikings were as high as 90 to 1 as far as I could tell at half.
No chance. What an embarrassment.
It's over.
This team's exactly what everybody thought they were, overrated, top to bottom. Can't do anything, Gill.
Vikings finally score with just over 8 minutes left in the third quarter, 88-yard drive. Cousins to KJ Osborne for 2, set up by Cousins to Osborne for 63. Vikings also get touchdowns on their next 2 possessions, 75 and 61-yard drives, with only an Indy field goal in that span. The third of those touchdowns on a Cousins to Jefferson, 8-yarder in which Jefferson shook Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore with a tremendous pattern, 36-21 with just over 12 minutes left. Down 15 with just over 12 minutes left. Wait a minute. This might not be impossible anymore. One would have thought that any chance the Vikings had, though, went out the window, down 36-21 with 8:09 left, 1st and 10 at the Indy 41 when Cousins throws a terrible pick. Rodney Thomas gets it. But the Vikings get it to 36-28, then have a Shandon Sullivan scoop and score negated by a premature whistle on a Zach Moss fumble. Unsportsmanlike conduct takes the Vikes back 15. 4th and 10 at the Indy 40 with 2:57 left. False start. 4th and 15 at the Indy 45. Cousins tripped up from behind by Deo Odeyingbo after a 1-yard gain. Vikings still have all 3 timeouts left, though. Colts 4th and 1 at Minnesota 36. They just got to get the yard. 2:31 left, up 36-28. Vikings without timeouts. Ryan sneaks. Stop short. Vikings take over with 2:19 left, down 36-28. First play, Cousins to Cook, 64 yards, 36-34. 2-point conversion try. Cousins to Hawkinson. We're tied. 2:15 left. 4th and 1 for the Colts at their own 34 with 1:20 left. False start punt. 4th and 1 for the Vikings at their own 35. 22 seconds left. Colts call timeout. Minnesota punts to the Indy 2. Take a knee. Overtime. Vikings opt to punt on a 4th and 10 from the Indy 39 with 4:56 left. Then the Colts opt to punt 4th and 9 at their own 44 with 1:49 left. Vikings get it. Long field goal range on 2 Cousins passes that amass 36 yards. Then after a 13-yard pass to Jefferson, the D lays on top of Jefferson, turns it into a 40-yard field goal. Greg Joseph, good. 39-36, Minnesota ballgame. Greatest comeback in NFL history.
Let's go. Take a breath, Gill.
We got more after the break. Chris, hey. I knew we couldn't get that guess in on that one segment.
But Evelyn Woods would have been proud of you for that speed reading session.
Is it Evelyn Woods or Evelyn Wood?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I believe it's Evelyn Wood, isn't it? Wait, well, speaking of reading, you have a book.
I have a book. Today, Adal Fosmu, my brother. But today is the last day you could order it from Amazon and get it before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So get it today.
Makes it. Well, it's very good.
Yeah.
Andrew Sports on Twitter. You have a link there.
I have a pinned tweet. My pinned tweet has a link to the book.
Okay.
You can go there. It's probably the easiest way to get it.
So back to because I didn't even give a guess on this, but the Vikings game, again, against the Colts. And yes, the Colts not running the play clock down, to just maximize their ability to preserve, a 33-point lead. Matt Ryan, biggest Super Bowl comeback loss, up 28-3. Now the biggest regular season comeback loss, up 33-0. I tweeted any given Jeff Saturday. And honestly, if the Vikings had come back and covered, which they did not, right? But if they had covered, I'm not sure I could have in good conscience ever recommended to people who had the Colts plus the points to ever bet an NFL game again. I would have just been like, Let me give you a hug. It's been great having you. Couldn't quite get there, but as I said, the Ravens-Brown first quarter had to be the lowest rated quarter of any quarter this season. The Vikings clinched the NFC North. Cousins 34-54 for 460, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, sacked 7 times, 417 yards passing for Cousins in the second half and overtime, which is by far the most in the last 45 years of football.
NFC North cash, alt over wins cash.
Good for you.
Boom, boom. And I had a Bills-Vikings moneyline parlay. I don't know what you're talking about, Gil. It was so easy that Saturday.
So easy.
So easy.
Cook, 17 for 95, fumble loss, 4 catches for 95 and a touchdown. Osborne, 10 for 157 and a touchdown. Jefferson, 12 for 123 and a touchdown. 518 total yards. And they were -2 in turnovers were the Vikings. I will say that it is going to be the Vikings -4 against the Giants.
Okay, first one of the day. I like your number better.
It's the fraudulent bowl.
It's it's 3.5 everywhere. I don't see anything but 3.5. My numbers come to 4.5. I'm going to open at 4. Take a bet on the Giants. The Giants got outgained yesterday. They were very lucky to win. And I know the Vikings don't cover too many of these numbers. But they're in so many one-score games and win them. I know a lot of that is luck of the draw. But I thought 4 was a better number than 3.5. You talk about fraudulent bowl. I could see that. But, Vikings are at home, and the Giants, I was not overly impressed yesterday with the Giants. I'm going to open 4. They'll probably take it off me. That's okay.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.